All right, the show $1 Million Quartet, it's a musical, opened at the Schuster Center last night and plays through Sunday. The show's inspired by an impromptu jam session at Jam Records featuring Johnny Cash, Jerry Lee Lewis, Carl Perkins, and Elvis Presley. It's like Mount Rushmore. W.S. Holland was the drummer during that session. He has seen and lived history. And W.S. joins us this morning with more on this.
Thank you so much.
Most people know you as Fluke. Fluke is your nickname. How did that come about?
It's kind of a strange story, but I was a little kid, lived next door to then there were filling stations, and I thought it sounded kind of funny to me if I'd say, "What is that Flukus?" instead of "What is that thing?" or "Let me see that." And the boy running the service station, when I would walk up, he said, "Well, here comes Flukus."
Here comes Flukus.
So that
Shortened
was
to Fluke.
Yeah, called me Fluke. That was before I got in the music business. Then I got in the music business and went through school, and people all over the world now know me more of Fluke than they do W.S. Holland.
Your drumming skills are certainly no fluke at all. Here's a sample of Fluke doing his thing. Check this out. Pretty good for a young man.
Well, I thought that was going to be an old video.
An old clip?
Before I dyed my hair white. But that's not long ago. Yeah,
this musical, the $1 Million Quartet, think of the names. Perkins, Cash, who else did we have in there?
Jerry Lee Lewis. And Johnny Cash.
And Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
What was it like? You're the drummer in that session. Tell it. At that time, did you know what you were doing, that you were making history?
Oh, no. That was in 1956. We started in 54. And the reason that session happened was we was recording the release after Blue Suede Shoes. This is when I was still with Carl Perkins in the mid-50s. Now, we'd all met, all the guys on Sun Records had met in 55. And Sam had a little tour booking agent, and we booked shows all around West Tennessee. So now in 56, we're back in studio, we being Carl, his two brothers,
Elvis,
Clayton and Jay, and I, to record this song after Blue Suede Shoes. Now, the reason Jerry Lee was on the session, Sam hired him to play piano. He was a piano player hanging around. And in the middle of the session, we didn't even know that John and Elvis was in town, but they heard we were in town. Later, we found this out. So they just dropped by to say hello.
Oh, just dropped. Elvis and Johnny Cash just dropped by.
Yeah.
You drummed for 2 weeks with Johnny Cash, turned into like 40 years, Walk the Line, Ring of Fire, all those classics he's the drummer on. Carl Perkins used you a lot as well. Now, there's a lot of stories which are better suited for late night TV, which I know you can tell, but I think I'm going to talk to him after the show for about an hour. But how special was that to play with these guys during your career? I mean, history. You saw history.
We're trying to do a book about it, and we're going to try to tell it almost like it happened. But some of the things we can't tell.
I can understand that.
but it was such an honor for me. If we had a couple of days, we could tell a few of the strange stories about Johnny Cash. But for me to be able to tour all around the world for nearly 40 years, and now to be able to still be touring around the world, telling people about Cambria, what a great kitchen counter company they are, and tell all the girls, if you want the prettiest kitchen in the world, you got to check with Cambria.
There you go. They're putting on the show too, $1 Million Quartet, and it runs through Sunday. This is definitely worth seeing. Want to tell people information on where they can get tickets to this show.
Yeah, and then I'm going to tell you one other thing about the show.
It's fox45now.com and click on Fox 45 in the morning. Real quick, what do you got?
The problem they have putting the show on, and it is a great show. You've got to see it. But one of the big problems they had when they started it, and they still have, is to find a boy to play drums that's pretty as I was in 56.
Yeah.
So
you don't that right there, you don't get that much.
No.
Yeah. All right. Hey, Fluke, it was an honor to meet you.
Thank you for letting me be here.
Appreciate it.